Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. My name is John.
This is Crystal. We talk about the joys and the challenges of teaching music in the elementary school classroom.
We share struggles, we brainstorm solutions.
And we would love to have you join us. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back.
We're back.
We are back.
Yes.
We are back. And we are ready to talk about everybody's favorite topic. Learning intentions and success criteria. Don't leave us.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Don't
chicken
change
nuggets.
it. Oh, chicken nuggets? No. That's your favorite subject, John.
I think other people like it too.
Well, but that's yours. It's okay.
everyone.
You can have a favorite, and then other
Do you
people
not
can have
like
a
chicken
favorite.
nuggets?
Okay, don't. Seriously,
Wait,
though,
no.
don't turn this episode
Do
off.
you like chicken nuggets?
Do I like chicken nuggets?
Yeah.
I find
Okay, there you
them.
go.
I find them
Fact.
okay.
All right, I'll take that.
Yeah.
So success criteria.
Yeah. Success criteria and learning intentions. This is a controversial topic.
Okay.
Amongst arts teachers.
Yes.
So there are two camps. There is the camp of we don't like it. We don't want to do it. We think it's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to have to put it on our board. This is just admin speak. It's ridiculous. Also, it's ruining our lessons because what about the grand reveal at the end?
What about the grand reveal?
Thank you, Jonathan. He's here to provide the soundtrack.
In case. So you can buy the soundtrack, by the way, on.
Okay, if you have no idea what I'm talking about,
Yes, please.
is this trend that is going across the nation of school districts saying, according to all this research, we have to be really, really clear about what we're teaching and what the kids have to do in order to be successful in a lesson. And if you don't do that, you don't put it on your board, they don't actually know what's going on. And they're just going to float through your classroom and not learn anything. And we have to demonstrate the learning. We have to have it show up on tests, and it's important. And we need to be able to track it and have data. Okay, so that's what it is.
We like those ones and zeros.
We do like our ones and zeros,
Or at least they do,
especially in education. Okay, so there's the camp that's like, we don't like it, we're not doing it because we are the arts teachers and we do things differently.
We're special.
Yes. Then there's the other camp that's like, all right, fine, I got to do it. I'll have my ICANNs on the board. I'll download them from TPT. If this makes you happy, we'll do the thing. It's fine. Doesn't really bother me that much. Where do you fall in that camp? Do you put your learning intentions and success criteria on the board?
Okay, so I think there's a third camp as well.
Oh, do tell.
There is a third camp that actually likes it.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like I think we have your positives, neutral, negative, whatnot. Okay, so do I like it or do I do it? Because those are two different things.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can answer it.
Sure. Yeah, I think so. I don't place it on the board as much as I should.
Got it. Okay.
I like to have objectives listed under there. I like having students state their objectives.
Okay.
Because I'm mixed. That's what it is. Like after having ORF levels, it was really cool. I've shared this before to you several times. There's something that's really awesome to see a ORF teacher teach an idea, and you don't know what's going on. And then once you reach the top of the mountain, you see,
like, oh my goodness, we made this amazing thing, and we didn't even know we were doing it.
But I also recognize that I'm also a music teacher that's very musically inclined, and I'm loving the experience of the journey. Some people just aren't in that space.
Right.
Or also some
They're
people
like,
are not.
why are we doing this?
Exactly. And so stating what's up, I see it. And so and there's I know there's a lot of students, whatnot, that they might have had a great experience on what they did, but because there wasn't a sense of forefronting, they don't know exactly what they did. They did something cool,
right? But
what did you do? And so I see the benefit. I do see the benefit of having it. But I think, yeah. So that's. But also, for a kindergartner, are we going to stating learning intentions? I as someone who has not sat into a kindergarten GE class, I'm curious how they do it. If it's done differently, than say a sixth grader, it probably obviously is. But
oh, I'm sure.
So yeah, so that's where I'm at. I see the benefit, I really do, and I think there's something good to be said about it. But also, as an ORF teacher, as I mentioned before, there's something beautiful to be said about if a student or a group of students are invested in the lesson, having them walk that mountain and see what they've climbed. That's a beauty in and of itself.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. If you have a really advanced group of kids, I think that can be lovely. And sometimes you do love having the grand reveal at the end. But I don't think that doing the success criteria, route where you have the stuff on the board and the ICANNs is mutually exclusive to having the grand reveal at the end.
Sure.
Yeah. So I I just want to offer my perspective because I definitely have gotten into it with people about this. And it's not like I absolutely love doing it because I'm not the most organized person naturally. I have to come up with systems for myself to follow in order to maintain any kind of sense of order in my own life or in my classroom life. We've talked about this before. Yeah. And I've gone through kind of an evolution when it comes to how I communicate what a lesson is going to entail for the kids. First of all, I had to figure out what my own scope and sequence is. And it's constantly changing because my kids change every year and what they can handle and what they can absorb changes. So first of all, you need to have some idea of what it is that you're teaching. And yeah, it needs to be standards based, but it has to be custom tailored to your kids. Your kids there in the moment. Right. Like when I was a first year teacher at Finney and they hadn't ever had music class before, they didn't know anything. So I had to start with those foundational skills. Now I've been there a while and I can build on, previous years so we can get somewhere else. So first of all, know what your goals are and what they should be reaching, during certain weeks. And that's a really important exercise. I do it at the beginning of every quarter. I just list out like, okay, I've got 9 music classes per grade level. And these are the goals for each one. And I only have one goal, one big goal, and then everything supports that one goal. So that's what my learning intention is like, for example, my learning intention for the entire semester for 3rd grade is I am learning how to play the recorder. That's it. And then when we get into how are we going to be successful, then I've done like, I will be able to, and then we'll have play a C on my recorder, play, hot cross buns or burn cross buns or whatever it is that we're doing that day. And then, and then I will be able to play by myself and with a neighbor. And that's pretty simple. And we can still improvise on our recorders. We can still learn about harmony. We can still build a really cool piece that starts with movement, adds the Orff instruments into it. I mean, we can still have that amazing grand reveal at the end. Did we play recorder today? Heck yes, we played recorder. Did we also do something really amazing? Yeah, we did. So what I gather is that your learning intention is very broad. I think it should be. That's the foundation for we're going to learn how to play recorder. Do you set any finer? Well, that's the success criteria. Okay. So your learning intention is we are learning to, or we are learning how. And then your success criteria is I'll know I got it right if I can, by the end of the lesson. So I think that you need that language, right? Yeah. So the target is that's your learning intention. That's your big goal. And then you've got all those little check marks that they can mentally check off. And I think that that's really helpful for them at the end of the lesson. It does really bother me when you get all the administrators who swoop in the middle of the lesson and they pick the spaciest kids to be like, what are you learning about right now? Always the best. I hate that so much. Always the best. It's like, he doesn't know what color his socks are. Why did you pick him? It's always the roll of the dice and the dice just happens to be weighted. I know. Every time. It's no, ask Annabelle, please. Not Jason. Not Jason. But also, I think hopefully, if the administrator recognizes what's going on, they recognize that this is a case in where this class is at, not necessarily indicative of what the teacher or how successful the teacher is. Yeah, okay. Sure. But you're talking, they're writing on their clipboards. They're writing something. They're writing something down. We don't know what. If you are an administrator, let us know. Yes. But you talked about how you have there's a lot of contention. Have you talked with a lot of other teachers? I have. And a lot of teachers, okay, so I think it all comes down to this. We have no time. Oh, yeah. Teachers have 0 time. And then music teachers were teaching, a bunch of classes. How many classes do you teach a day? I can say the maximum I've taught is 9. 9. But that was because sometimes it's a lot. There's a lot. There are times where I teach. So we have TK, whatnot. Sure. And we've shrunk that into, instead of a regular 40-minute class, 20 minutes in one area, 20 minutes in another area. So that is 2 sessions. And this is not when we have collab weeks. When it's collab weeks, then it's different, obviously. Sure. So during collab weeks, we will typically teach 6. Okay. And probably 6 is around the average of how many I teach. How many grade levels are in that? Are they 6 different grade levels? So during collab week, it's only 2 different levels. Sorry, 2 different grade levels. Okay. But when it's music weeks by myself, I might have, it could be 9. 5. It could be 5 to 9.
Yeah.
See, that's a lot. And that's
is a
where
lot.
that's where it gets real sticky. So I think having those templates is really helpful. I drop them into my whiteboard now because I only have 4 a day and it's 2 of each grade level. So I've got like 2 first grade classes, for example, and then 2 second grade classes. So I know that I'm coming from a different place than you are, but I've been in your shoes. Yeah. And so I've had to put my schedule, you know, in my PowerPoint, but that's part of your, you know, your planning for the week. And if you have a template that just has like mine has a target on it. And so I am learning how to play the recorder. And then I've got my 3 checks for the day. And then it doesn't take very long to just throw it in there. And then the kids say it, makes the principal happy. And also some of my kids really need that anchor. And if they don't have that, they don't know what they're supposed to be doing that day. And I've kind of changed how I do the I cans over the years, because I found that the kids are a little bit more invested if they feel like they're meeting, I don't know, if they're filling up a chart, you know, or like I give them stars, like, so you get 1 star if you can meet the first goal, which always is the same thing. It's always join in with everything we do. If you're doing all the stuff and you're in with the class, then yeah, you get 1 star for the day. And then your second star is like, I learned how to play G and B on my recorder. And then the third star is I was able to improvise using 3 notes and play my name on a recorder. So yeah, I found that to be really helpful.
We're kind of deviating. Where my mind wants to go is kind of deviating a little bit. But how do you organize how you assess your students?
How I assess them? Yeah. They self-assess.
Well, with the stars.
With the stars. Oh, and they just hold up fingers.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have a stamp marker.
Okay.
And so I just, Because
I know people have different approaches, but not like
paper, I don't do paper. Yeah, I
IOCO.
Have you seen those markers that have the mini stampers on them? You can get a set of them from Lakeshore. I know Crayola makes a set. Like you get them in a box and there will be like 8 of them. And one of them has a little heart and a star and a smiley face. And I always have one in my pocket. So I bought a whole set that's just stars. I got it from somewhere cheap online. I don't know.
By the way, thank you for using stamps, not stickers.
Oh yeah, I hate stickers.
No, like I love my coworkers, but sometimes I have to remind them, please don't have them have stickers. And then when they come out of class,
they just rain stickers. I don't even know how they get some of the places they get.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
There?
Yeah, I know.
What physics do you behold?
I don't love stickers. Yeah, I just find stamps to be easier, and then I don't have to keep track of trash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you document for like further use?
Not usually. Okay. Not usually. If we're doing a big assessment, like for example, right now, I'm inviting the kids who meet their recorder goals to a hot cross buns party.
Do they get hot cross buns?
Yeah, it's gonna be lit.
No. Is it 1 penny?
They earned it with their recorders.
No, I mean when you get.
Yeah, I know. I understand. Okay. No, I make them. They're delicious. Oh, really easy. Okay. They're super easy. Did you grow up making those?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
But I went to England recently and got a hot cross bun. It was not 1 penny. It was
no, it's expensive.
£1 for 65, I think it was.
Right.
By the way, you know the other tune for hot cross buns?
What?
Hot cross buns, 1 penny, 2 penny, hot cross buns.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, definitely not your BAG piece.
I learned burned cross buns from Drew Bullington.
Hi, Drew.
Burned cross buns, burnt cross buns, ruin too many, don't buy any burned cross buns. So my kids play hot cross buns and then burn cross buns and we transpose it. It's fun.
Okay.
And then I give them my hot cross buns recipe for Easter. And I tell them about how my family has hot cross buns every Easter and it's a thing. And then we have the hot cross buns party.
Cool.
It's really fun. If I do say so myself.
Okay.
Yes, it is very fun.
I feel like, so let's play devil's advocate for a bit. Because I feel like we're on a very similar wavelength.
Sure.
You're on we're, again, opposite, a different side of the table, but still looking at the same table. I recognize, once again, like the beauty of curiosity.
Yes. And it's so important.
It is important because I feel like if we just state, you are going to learn this, eat it. Like, you know, it's like,
that's boring.
But like, I still remember like what made our levels experience very like wonderful. We've shared several times on this podcast. We have Dave, shoeless man, beard, sit down and start singing.
With zero introduction.
Here I sit and wait for you. And just, he summoned us through our curiosity. I'm wondering also, like, we were summoned with our curiosity. Was there anyone else in our audience that wasn't as in it? But like, I know there's a power in that if you're bought in it. So how do you still keep the curiosity while still stating the learning intention goals?
I think that's where you know your kids. I could start classes when I taught for San Diego Youth Symphony last year, baby classes, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, with a no introduction launch like that. I could get them doing body percussion and echoing. I could get them singing without any kind of greeting or hello, and do that like walk in and just throw down kind of thing. And then I would do the learning intention. I still did it. I still did it. Yeah.
But not starting with it. Yeah.
Right. It wasn't the hook.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the thing too. So here's my opening routine. I do greetings. I do greetings at the door, and I have some sort of video playing while I'm letting them choose a high five, fist bump, hug, or dance. And then they go in, and then we sing together. We always sing together, some sort of hello song, and then whatever song of the month we've got going on. I have my my schedule on the board for what it is that we're gonna do, because I need that, first of all, so I don't forget stuff, and also
because when you teach multiple levels in different grades,
you forget what you've done. Like when you're teaching a lesson for the 4th time in a day, you're like, wait, did I do that with these guys?
And believe it or not, sometimes when you run on like 3 hours of sleep.
Not that anybody we know would ever do that.
No, not at all.
Right. Yeah. I need it. And then as a learner, I need that anchor because ADHD. Like I really need to know where we are in the lesson so that I can like mentally map it out. Otherwise I check out. And then I go over my learning intention, success criteria, and then I can launch into the lesson. And I always do my rules every day too. I think that's it really helps with classroom management. Yep.
Don't need to say
every single day. I used to say your rules every day until you don't have to anymore. You just got to say them. I have to say them every day. If I don't do the rules, if I don't remind them of what the expectations are, like we have a crappy day. It's just terrible.
No, this can go elsewhere. This could go in
I could go in a whole direction.
No, it's like I've shared this before. Like, you know, we talk about a lot about behaviors, and I get it. Also, like one thing that I think about is like, you know, and COVID, like when you had people taking different interpretations of interpretation is a very light term, interpretations of like what it means to be a good, healthy person. Yeah, it's like, then what are the rules at all? Like when you have teachers, some of them being masked and them not being masked. What's like,
that's where you're going with it.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
it's a whole thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
But anyway, so then, gotcha. Okay, we solved the problem then.
Okay, awesome. All right, that's it.
I mean, so like, okay, like.
I think that you have to step up your kids to get them to that developmental place where you can do the grand reveal style.
Sure.
Otherwise, you know, it's fun, but unless you really have them, then you really don't. You know, like that takes a certain level of ability from your students and from you as a teacher to be able to successfully lead a lesson like that. And I think what happens too often is that a lot of teachers don't have that central, like, this is what I want them to be able to do. Like, what's the point of this lesson? You know, you can do activities. You can go online and you can find 12 different activities and you can fill up 40 minutes, no problem, and keep the kids engaged and they'll have fun. Right. It'll be very joyful. Right. But when they walk away, what have they learned?
What have they learned? Yeah.
Can they say what they've learned? Can you say what they've learned?
Right.
Right. And
you might understand what you want them to convey, but do they? Also, if you're not assessing them as much as like I understand assessment can be a dirty word for a lot of teachers, but like if we aren't assessing our kids, then are we sure that they've learned, or have they just had a fun time but didn't really pick up anything musical?
Right. I'm still shocked at how few kids can actually answer on the spot what forte, piano, and improvisation are. And it's like, oh my goodness, I say those every single day. We do them all day long. We do them in different activities, and still that's new vocabulary, and they're not using it anywhere else. And I forget sometimes they're only with me an hour a week.
Interconnectedness.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to reinforce that always. And remember, we're working with beginner musicians. So if they really want to grow those foundational skills, we've got to make sure that they're actually absorbing it.
Only see us for 40 minutes a week at usually best.
At best, yeah.
Like there are some bougie like situations where kids are seen more than once a week, but most kind of times, like I know people are only seen like once a month.
Right.
Like let's be real.
That's
here.
what it was forever for me.
And unless you have that context with the other teachers that talk about those skills, and like, maybe that's where you might want to start off. If you want to like wean off the learning intentions, you aren't going to, but if you want to, like, start finding ways to have that vocabulary instilled in their general classrooms.
Right. So let's talk about how to make it doable.
Sure.
Right. Because that's the issue that a lot of people come up with is like, well, where am I going to have time for that? So how much time do you think you spend lesson planning? I'm curious.
Not enough.
Not enough? Well, what does that mean? Like, do you do it weekly, monthly? How do you think about it?
I have a general plan of where I want the kids to go. I work on that like for in the beginning of the quarter. Things do happen along the way where things, change, whatnot. But like, I do have, this quarter, this is the unit that they should be working on. And, and I think the hard part is obvious as it happens, like I have 3 classes per grade level. And so certain classes go further than other classes. Also, like I had a 4th grade class that did not see me apparently for like 5 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Partly because we had assemblies.
Okay.
Partly because I was recording.
Okay.
Partly because I was sick. And just things happened where that one specific class did not see me. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Things happened where some of it was in my control, some of it wasn't. But and so I recognize I empathize with those who find it's difficult because like one class may be super ahead, my own class might not be.
Right.
But I do. So I start in the beginning of the quarter. I spend time. This is the direction that I want my kids to at least aim for. Yeah. And try to work on this piece.
I think that's good.
And then from there on, during the weekends, I try to recalibrate. This is where they're at, and then. But as far as time goes, I can't tell. I probably spend more time in the time before the quarter starts. Yeah. Yeah. How about you?
Well, I would say I also do the quarter system. Like I come up with the big goals, like the main template, and I kind of, sequence it. And so I probably spend at the beginning of every quarter, like a couple weekends, like really outlining it. And then, change it. I probably go in and change. I mean, I do a little bit every day. So probably all told, I spend about 5 hours a week lesson planning, if I were to add it up like that.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think that's the number I could put on it. Okay. So I'm curious how much time do you spend lesson planning and putting your things together? I feel like I have to memorize my lesson plan. Otherwise it just falls apart and my classroom management can't keep up.
Sure.
Because as soon as I don't have a plan, they know. And it's like, that's like Pridmore rule of education number 1 is if the teacher does not fill the child's time, the child will fill the time in a way that the teacher does not want them to. So yes. So you've got to make sure that they are scheduled to the hilt, because if they ain't, it's not going to be cute. But I found some time savers and I wanted to share one in particular. So that's, I was just poking around for it. Delaware, their standards for visual and performing arts, they took the NAFME standards and they broke them down into I can statements. So you can find them divided by creating, performing, and it's not just music, it's all of the arts disciplines. It's really useful. So bookmark that, because that will make your life so much easier, because then you can just copy and paste, and they're really good. So if you want to start getting a little better with your teacher clarity and just focusing in, and you need an easy way to get started, it's such an easy way to do it. And then once it becomes part of your routine, it's just sort of natural. And then you find the language popping up. It's like, okay, we're doing this activity, we're going to get the instruments out. Now the whole point of this is I want you guys to be able to improvise your own 4-beat, whatever.
Right.
And can somebody tell me what the word improvise means, and then you start reinforcing it naturally. But you have to do that legwork of like, what do I want them to do and how are we going to get there?
And also mention it to the kids.
Yeah.
And also, it can't just be stuck in your head.
Yeah.
And that's like, I think of a lot of certain teachers who are just like, I feed off of when I do my best job when I am feeding off the kids. And like,
Yeah.
that might be fun. They might have a good time, but are they learning?
Right.
And
it'll be more fun if there's structure.
Yeah. I think about, I've referenced Russell Nadal, like his sessions. He focuses a lot on improvisation. It's no single situation is the same whenever you're taking his session, but there's a framework. And if the framework's there, the kids can improvise until the cows come home. And then the framework has to be there.
It does. It makes it a safe playground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I feel like learning intentions,
success criteria, boring, yes. Helpful,
yes.
Yeah.
And especially if we are trying to cater to every learner.
Yeah, that's the thing. And as we've said before, we don't leave kids out.
Yeah, we do not.
And so not everybody's a high enough level thinker to hang on and get to the end of a lesson for the grand reveal and take something away from that.
Yeah, not everyone's built the way where curiosity is enough.
It's true. And we have to teach them that it is. And I think that we can scaffold them and help them get there.
And I would also argue that some of our, at least data-wise, high-level thinkers, they prefer having that structure. That's what they feed off of.
Yeah.
And so, if you want...
it helps kids feel safe.
Yeah. And so give them an anchor. Give everyone an anchor.
Right. I mean, every book I've ever read about assessing talks about how rubrics help student achievement. It helps kids reach higher and try a little bit more. And is it fun to read a rubric? No. Is it fun to grade using a rubric? No. But do they work? Unfortunately, yeah.
And also
it helps.
Unfortunately, but also you don't. It doesn't have to be boring.
Right.
That's the key thing. I feel like.
How would you make it not boring?
So rubrics.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
So how would I make, say, the rubric can be built in, but it doesn't have to be your success is based off of. If you word it that way, then kids are gonna feel like, oh, great, this is just like every other class. But if it is, okay, I can't just feed off of anything. Just give me a
okay, so let's talk about we're doing a group project where they have to come up with a drum piece using 3 ostinati and then perform for the class. So 3 different instruments, 3 ostinati, and then a performance.
Yeah, okay, then you don't need to say the 4 3 2 1. The 4 3 2 1 can be in the background. You can have it in your head, and maybe it can be stated later on, but just have them as a collective group. Did it have that? Did it have that? Did it have it? And then the amount of things it had.
So the 4 3 2 1 being you get 4 points for doing this.
If you met this much, 3 points.
So I'm doing this project right now with 6th grade. That's why I'm saying it.
So so give me it.
Okay, sure. So they actually have a rubric, and it's okay, so did we work together as a team and have good communication? Did everybody get to contribute? And did everybody get to write down their own idea with at least one of these? Did everybody get to write one phrase that was their own? And then did we all work together? Did we keep a steady beat? Were we able to play our 3 different ostinati at the same time without messing up? And then were we able to begin and end together? And then there's one for were we fun to watch? And then they kind of rate themselves. And we ask the audience for that last one. How engaging was it to watch? And we talk about energy and presence on the stage. I always try to drill that into my kids. It's important to me.
Energy and presence.
Yeah, well, I tell my fun ensemble all the time, my Orff ensemble, you have to be fun to watch. Otherwise, what's the point? Yeah. Why is anybody sitting up and paying attention
to you?
You
Might sound pretty, but...
Right, nobody cares. Why are you on that stage? And then I go up and I perform badly, and I'm like, how was that? They're super cringy, and I'm like, yeah. Yeah, nobody wants to watch that. It hurts. It's physically painful, right, guys? Yes. Yeah, don't be painful to watch. Have people sit up and pay attention to you. Because, So how do we turn that rubric into something fun or something engaging or something not dry? Not dry. And I think... Well, I think that comes from your delivery, right? Yeah, it's not even the wording. It's the teacher enthusiasm. And it's you were saying at dinner, Don't be afraid to be a goob.
Yeah, don't be afraid to be goob. And
Yeah.
so like also, yeah, so like if they meet the criteria, I don't know, do a little dance.
Do the floss.
Yeah, it's, I
Do
don't
the
know,
dabacopter.
like, or just dabacopter all the way. Like have the whole like.
That's where you dab all around in a circle.
You got a four.
like
you get 4 air horns.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't have to be dry. You're right. Delivery is everything. Like,
Yeah.
And it's hard because as we mentioned earlier, like teaching is very. It's very not performative, but you are performing.
You
constantly.
are performing. Yes.
Yeah, you are performing constantly, and this just asks for more performing.
It's a high energy art form.
But if you only see kids for 40 minutes a week, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You set the temperature. You set the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, I mean, that's just me off the cuff.
Yeah.
I would love to hear more thoughts on Crystal's.
What do you think about ICANNs and success criteria?
Yeah, or also specifically on Crystal's, on her, how do you make her thing engaging from your perspective?
Ooh. How do you make it engaging? And also, I'm just curious, like, do you agree or not?
Yeah.
Like, if you are full on like against putting the ICANNs and the success criteria on the board, what do you do instead? Do you do it verbally maybe? Do. Yeah, real mature, Jonathan.
It's a work week. Work night. No, but seriously, yeah. It's like,
Yes.
what's your thoughts? And we are not going to judge you anyway. Like, we'd love just to hear your full-on thoughts, and if you give a complete sentence, even better.
That's right. chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. We want to hear from you.
Or at CH Classroom. Thank you.
On Insta.
On Insta.
Cool. We will be back with a Spiccato after the break.
I want to take a quick break and thank my husband, Bryan, who's been working behind the scenes producing these episodes every week on all of the platforms and on time. But you need to know that he is first a financial planner for Mission Trails Financial. Mission Trails Financial is a partner that seeks to guide clients in the journey to financial success. They believe that people need a financial advisor that aims to provide strategies for success. Mission Trails Financial helps people navigate investments, tax planning, and insurance. Imagine working with an advisor who isn't tied to specific brands. Mission Trails Financial has a fiduciary responsibility to act in the best interests of their clients by providing independent, objective advice. Their mission is to help clients accomplish their financial goals. As Joe Vitale once said, a goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot. Do yourself a favor and set up a time to chat with Mission Trails Financial. Visit www.missiontrailsfinancial.com or call 619-419-0238 to schedule a call. You'll be glad you did. We believe that leaning on professionals is how we get ahead. Check out the program notes for more information.
And we are back.
Hey, before we start, left turn.
Left.
Thank you, everyone, so much. It's wow. So we mentioned during dinner, 2018.
Yeah, we've been around
So what's the math? 6 years?
6 years.
6 years. My goodness. Thank you so much, everyone who's helped propel this. And we really do mean it, though. Like every single time that you do, like, tell a friend, or even better, review it. It makes sure that this thing that we do, this love project between two educators, continues to go further and further. So please make sure, it would help us a lot if you review, so that the Spotify and Apple algorithms don't dislike us.
Yes.
And
if this podcast means something to you, please take a couple of seconds to go hit 5 stars and send us a short review about where you listen, where you teach, why you like the show. Seriously, anything.
and we'll read it here.
We will read it and we will be grateful. All right.
And whether or not you use YouTube, it helps. Just jump there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hit that subscribe on YouTube for us, even if you never log in again.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Okay, I have our Spiccato.
Alrighty.
I couldn't believe it. I looked on the list. We've never done bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap. Hey. Okay.
What would you do with bubble wrap?
I had a video somewhere. A video when the Save the Music Foundation gave us all the instruments. There's a bunch of bubble wrap. Kids just messing with, and I laughed because I think I was back when I was using Snapchat, and I was like saying kids are more enthralled with the bubble wrap than the actual instruments.
Yeah.
But alas,
I would recommend, if you do anything with bubble wrap, do it outside for your sanity. For sure.
So what would you do with bubble wrap?
What would you do with bubble wrap?
Other than wrap it?
Other than pop it.
Or wrap a child roll down the hill.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. If you've never done that, wrap yourself in bubble wrap and roll down a hill. I dare you. It's
also on the
so
head.
fun.
Like wrap around your head as well.
Don't do that. Don't do that, John.
Like, you have a breathing hole, but like you don't want to concuss yourself by accident either.
Okay. Have you never rolled down a hill?
I have.
Okay.
As I'm older, you just you know.
Okay.
You know.
you know.
Anywho.
Oh my goodness.
What would you do with bubble wrap? Let's see.
I have different sizes of it.
Oh,
so.
I know. I would place them on my instruments so that when kids transition, they don't,
Oh my goodness. When they get bored, they don't knock something over and break it forever. I was thinking about how I have little bubbles, and then I've got some in my classroom that are really big, and so I might use it when we learn about high and low instruments, like pop the bubbles, and how does it sound different? And do a little scientific exploration. That's a weird one, but I thought it would be fun.
I'm going back to something I said last episode. Again, going back into soundscapes a lot. I feel like, as I said a lot during the online days, my
Foley artist project.
But the thing is, though, I feel like there was not as much success with this project because I didn't forefront with a lot of soundscapes, like having kids exploring whatnot.
Yeah.
And so, like...
That's a fun exploration. What are all the different sounds you can make with bubble wrap?
Or before that, like, utilizing bubble wrap. So... kind of like what Joshua Block does, like have us create something.
Yeah.
Like, so what would be like having the body like moving disjointedly, and then having a bunch of different objects you can mess around with, and bubble wrap can sound like, things crackling, like.
Yeah. If you're watching the YouTubes, Lily is very confused.
Very enthralled.
She does not know what to think about that bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be a fun sound effect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the idea of using it for like knuckles cracking or something, if you're going to use it for a Foley artist project.
Popcorn popping.
Popcorn. Popcorn's in the popper. Let it pop, pop, pop. Do you know that one?
That sounds familiar.
Oh, that's a fun game. Popcorn's in the popper. Oh, let it pop, pop, pop. Okay, so bonus. This is a really good way to wear your kids out. I have no idea where it came from. I just learned it on the playground. So you like all sit in a circle, and then you have kids in the middle, and they're the unpopped popcorn kernels, and they're all curled up in child pose in the middle. And then you have the kids echo you first. You pour in the oil, pour in the oil, sprinkle in the popcorn, sprinkle in the popcorn, sprinkle in some salt, sprinkle in the salt, turn up the heat, turn up the heat. And then you say 1, 2, 3, 4, pop, 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 pop. And then all the kernels pop up and they jump. Popcorn's in the popper, let it pop, pop, pop. Popcorn's in the popper, oh, let it pop, pop, pop. Pop, 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 pop. Now we stop. And then you can do that all day. And it's great for rainy days when you need to wear out your kindergartners. They can be popcorn.
Speaking of popcorn.
And then you could pop bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Also thinking about, remember way
Popcorn.
back in the day, you showed me the Boomwhacker video of popcorn.
Oh, I love that one.
Bum, 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 bum.
That was the first synthesizer electro dance music hit in the 60s. I learned that.
I knew it was in that realm.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. That's a fun one. Yeah, find the Popcorn Boomwhacker Play Along by Musication. It's a good one.
But back to bubble wrap.
Yes.
What would you do?
What would you do with bubble
You
wrap?
listener behind the screen or a car speaker. Yeah. Let me know.
Besides scare your dog with it. Round of the week. All right, we have a fun round for us. This is a folk song from Japan, and it's Hotaru Koi, and it's about fireflies.
I was trying to remember the opening of like that. Who was the artist, man?
What?
Fireflies, the artist.
Oh, Owl City.
Dude, yeah, awesome.
Will not believe your eyes. Not that one.
Yeah.
Ho, ho, Hotaru Koi, achi no mizu wa nigai zo, kochi no mizu wa amigo. Ho, Hotaru Koi. I swear I learned it wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, let's echo and I'll try not to mess it up this time.
Who do you have to blame?
I have no idea.
Blame
I think I feel like I'm blaming Drew for this one. Because didn't we do it level 2? We totally did. Ho, Hotaru Koi, achi no mizu wa nigai zo, hochi no mizu wa amizo. Ho, Hotaru Koi. And so you can do fun things with these with little finger lights. You can...
Have Lilibet
Yeah,
jumping on.
Lilibet wants to sing too. Okay, me first, then you. Ho,
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 ho.
Hotaru Koi.
Ooh,
Oh, you know,
yeah,
don't do
it's
a
just-
one beat one. Just do it like on the first
Yeah.
measure. Ho, ho,
Ho,
Hotaru
ho,
Koi. Achi no
Hotaru Koi.
mizu wa
Achi no
niga izo.
mizu wa
Kochi no
niga
mizu wa
Kochi no mizu wa ama izo. Ho,
Hotaru Koi.
Hotaru Koi. Ho. Hey.
You can do this in a one beat round.
Yeah.
And it's really fun and it sounds super cool, but you definitely need more people than we
And you
have.
just imagine fireflies. But
You wouldn't believe your eyes.
don't watch Grave of the Fireflies unless you're ready to cry. Unless you're ready to cry.
You're so silly.
It's actually a really sad film.
Okay.
I watched that film
Yeah.
in Japanese. It's full in Japanese, and I had no
Yeah.
clue what was going on. I just knew it was so depressing.
Oh,
It was
that's
so
so
sad.
sad.
It was. It came out. It was a Studio Ghibli film. It came out the same year as Totoro,
Oh.
so it was like juxtaposition. Like very happy sad.
Yeah. Happy sad.
Yeah. So there you go.
There you go. Do
Hotaru
you have
Koi.
fireflies where you are? Did you know that we have them, but they don't light up?
Fascinating.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. Did you know that we don't have fireflies that light up in Southern California? I will never forget, after my family moved to Alabama, my little sister came running in, Mom, Dad, there's a bug outside and its butt lights up. You know my sister.
Sounds like Michelle.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she figured out that she could squish them and write her name in the glow juice. Anybody who grew up with fireflies, you probably did something similar.
But I did not.
You did not. And so Jonathan is horrified.
Come on, Michelle. If
Thumbs was good times.
man,
If you want to reach out and tell us about your firefly activism and how terrible my sister was,
you can reach.
she's actually
Crystal.
really awesome.
She is pretty dope.
She
I don't
is
know how she
super
was
dope.
back then, but she's pretty dope.
She was my little sister, so she improved with age.
Okay.
No, but she's always been wildly amazing and creative.
How can they say how creative you are?
Oh, well, you can reach out to me at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com for the two of us, or Mrs. Pridmore on Instagram.
And you can reach me at Mr. Seligman on the socials, MrSeligman, and also on the socials for Chaotic Harmony at CH Classroom. Thank you all so much.
Bye.
Bye.
The Chaotic Harmony podcast is a joint project between Crystal Pridmore and Jonathan Seligman. You can find us online at chaoticharmonyclassroom.com. You can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail and let us know what you think. Give us feedback about what you would like to hear in future episodes. We're on all the socials. Find us on facebook.com/chaoticharmonyclassroom. You can find us on Twitter at @CHClassroom, Instagram at Chaotic Harmony Classroom, and you can even find our episodes on YouTube. Chaotic Harmony is the name of our channel. Special thanks to Bryan Pridmore for his help with production and equipment. www.pridmoria.com.